Okay, I'm trying to find out what's going on. I guess not.
30 seconds over and over. You good? You good? Can you hear me? Your mic's off, B. Turn your mic back on. There you go.
All right, this
What?
countdown didn't even start off right. But yeah, I was doing the countdown. I don't know what's going on, man.
I don't know. It counted down like
Sorry,
it's counted down like 3 times. I think we on.
I don't know. I think we on too. We on too. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Here we go doing our thing.
Yeah, just let me hit up a few people.
Let's get everything. Yeah, go ahead.
You can go ahead and talk to the people.
No. Let's let it.
Right,
Let's let it go ahead and get some. Mr. Wathrow is on. Mr. Wathrow is on. Yo, what's going on, Mr. Wathrow?
He was waiting on us, man.
Yeah, you on early. Hey. Hey, Mr. Wathrow, if you want to be on, let us know, man. We just talking about, this Black History Month.
No
We're
doubt.
just talking freestyle. We're just talking today. To everyone that's on, people that will be getting on, this is a Three-Headed Monster podcast. With me and Brother Jerome run barbershop talk like we do. We just talk general, but we also give you our opinions, our thought process on everything we do. You know, we just vibing today. We couldn't get on Friday because I was out of town, like always lately. I've been doing a lot of traveling. I actually talked to my daughter the other day, dude. Actually, Jerome, I done travel every month. I'm going somewhere. Now it's like, man, I've been doing a lot of flying. So I could say last year was a good year of traveling. This year it's gonna be there. So, but at the same time, I'm blessed that that I'm able to do it and have the opportunity to do what I do. But in the meantime, it's supposed to be that strong, proud month of Black history. But Indigenous history, they leave out. So we're only talking from 1800s into now. Oh, you see what he said, Dron?
I wasn't looking at my comments.
No, just he said it on Facebook. Give him a few minutes, so you can go ahead and send him that link. So we generally just just doing what we do. Try to put out as much information that we can. I was sitting there chilling on a Sunday. I dressed up. My son graduated from on Thursday, so I had to go all the way to Missouri. But me and the wife just got back, Friday, and we're just trying to get ourselves together because it's been a long 3 days for us. But not on top of that, it's just been kind of interesting. Jerome's like, "Yo, let's do something." I was like, "Sure." So that's how it is. Got to be, being the soldiers of knowledge. You got to be ready for battle or be ready to talk about anything. But it's been a lot of interesting stuff. Oh yeah, Jerome, make sure on Facebook that you make sure everything is public. All right.
Okay.
And tag me on it too on Facebook. But nah, man, we do what we do. Hey, we just enjoy just doing this. So I enjoy it. I mean, you ain't taking nothing out of my plate for the day. no football on,
Yeah.
no Eagles playing.
Yeah.
Crew cut said he wanted an invite.
Please,
I take care of crew cut. Boy, this has got
all right.
interesting. So we just do what we do.
Hold
So
on.
right now it's about to be interesting because you got a lot of people that want to jump on today. We don't have a problem with people jumping on as long as you're keeping the energy positive and we trying to build. If we ain't trying to build, we ain't trying to hear you. So crew cut, send me a message because you probably so far, I ain't talked to you in a minute. Send me a message so I can hit you back on Facebook Messenger. So give us a minute, let us do our thing as we get the guest on, you know, give time people to, you know, like I said, if you want to try to, build, let's build. Again, this is, I don't like saying Black history, but
That's what it is. That's what
it's,
it's about, then.
that's what,
That's why we
yeah,
on.
that's why we on. That's why we on. Jerome said that's why we on. Yep, that's why we on. Damn, where's Crew Cut at?
I got him. I just sent it to him.
Oh well, there it is. So I'm gonna let Jerome do his thing, Uncle Jerome. While I sip my tea. Sipping tea time, y'all. It's a lot going on in this country, and a lot of people ain't paying attention to it.
What's that?
I don't know, man. You got you know, everybody worried about Russia now. We're worried about China. We got this Ukraine stuff going on. We got this Taiwan stuff going on. Then we got all these, you know, train derailments. It ain't just the one in East Palestine
Right.
down in Texas. Then we got
So what?
trailers blowing
So
up.
you
We just got
saying?
all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you saying it's all kind of things going on to keep you distracted from what's really going on.
True.
So what's really going on, right?
Yeah. Just come out.
That's what we need.
Just come out for you. Oh shit, we got crew cut
Coach
in the house.
already done popped in.
Oh yeah, I know this gonna be a good one. How y'all doing?
What's up with you?
On the
Everything
way to
good,
the
bro.
house, I said,
Everything
they
good,
going live.
man.
I want to get in on this one. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Hey, it's a full Black History
And
Month, right?
it's on this history month. It's on Black History
Well,
Month.
if you want to talk about Black history, it's the fact that they trying to put queer theory on us.
Uh-uh.
It's really a lot. It's just crazy. Queer theory, what they got to do with Black history?
Oh, that's a lot, but hold on, crew
I'm
cut.
here.
Go
I'm
ahead,
listening.
Jerome. Get your disclaimer. Get your disclaimer out. Go
Oh,
ahead, Jerome.
okay. All right, we rolling. Let me see. I'm about to get over some because I'm blocked out, but here I go. So welcome Facebook family, welcome YouTube family. For anyone that's not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so you'll know when me and Brother Brian get on. Uh, as always, don't believe anything that I tell you. Don't believe anything that you hear on here. Go back, do the research for yourself, find out your truth, come back, let's politic, let's build, and let's go forward. What's up, B? Uh-oh. I hope you didn't freeze up on us, B.
All right, all right. Hey, all right, crew cut.
Are you good? You back?
Oh, shit. I'm good.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
be freezing.
Yeah, B freezing up a little bit. It must be still cold up
on
there.
that again.
But I can't say we got a special guest because he's a regular. So take that mute off of him, B. What's up, Coach?
What's going on with y'all? How y'all doing?
Yeah, you know we good.
Whew. My here fighting,
Yeah,
man.
Mr. Walker then jumped in too. Oh boy,
Brother
it's
Walker,
Oh
go ahead.
man, that's a good one. I ain't talked to Mr.
this about
Waltho
to
in a
be
while.
one
That's
good.
yeah, it's gonna be a real good one.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on,
Mr.
brother?
Waltho.
What's up, Coach? I still ain't got my hat, man.
Okay, Mr. Walker.
I'm about to send this man a hat, a straw hat.
No, no, you don't get off that easy, nigga. I want the hat you had.
I still got it. I still got it.
Send me that hat.
Okay, Jay, you gotta have to email me your address, and I'll make sure I put it in the mailbox. I'm gonna put it in the mail this week.
You damn right. And
All
I had
right.
to come over and holler at my kinfolk.
I like that look, B.
I finally got a notice when y'all was coming on. I don't usually get notices.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's good to hear from
Right.
you, quick. I ain't talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, that trucking business had me busy.
You still doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing that and some of everything else. Wife started a tea business and she's selling tea now.
No, that's what's up.
There's a lot
That's
going on.
what's up. I hadn't seen you since you posted about your dogs the last time.
Yeah, I still got 4 of them.
I
They
don't
ready.
want to. You can have them. I don't want nothing got a mouth. If that thing want to be fed, it don't belong in my
Get that,
house.
B. I think you
So
froze
what's
up,
going
B.
on? It's a lot going on in the news today. It's a little hot down here today, y'all. It's like almost 80 degrees.
All right, talk to
You
me.
in Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's what's up. And you right. There's a lot of stuff going on, and a bunch of it they ain't telling nobody about.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Down there in Georgia with them Mayans, ain't you?
Yeah. I already that's another conversation, but yeah.
They a long one too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I call them black folks since most people are uneducated.
Yeah, I mean, when you really look at the science and you go back and look at the history, they look like us on the walls. They got dreads like this. They got goals in their mouth. They shooting basketball. Come on, man. They tall and skinny with big bellies and stuff, man. No, that's your modern day people there.
But you know, it's interesting. The largest Mayan excavation is in Georgia.
Yeah, it's right above Macon, and they got it
Right.
closed off. They got it closed off to where can't nobody go there. But these guys took a picture from the plane. And it shows how they had water going up the mountain and all that other stuff, and they was trying to figure out how they did that. So they won't let us go over there. But
Right.
that only makes sense that the Georgia clay is what creates the blue dye that's on the walls in Central America. So that only makes sense that they would have something here.
Right. Exactly.
But let them tell it, all those people disappeared.
Yeah, of
They don't
course.
know. They don't know what happened to them.
When you change their name, they disappear.
Right.
No, I was
So
just
that's
gonna say that's why you got Black history instead of American Indian history.
Exactly.
well. Now they getting rid of even the Black history part because they can't teach civil. They can't do nothing about slavery, and they can't even talk about the civil rights in '68 in these schools no more. But they're able to talk about queer theory, and that's crazy. I downloaded the new AP study for the schools and stuff. I have it at the house, and it's crazy on what they're talking about. They're talking about more about prison, about us going to prison, and they're talking about queer theory, like that's something that's common amongst Black folks. So they're trying to put that history on us, basically, like that's
Yeah,
our history.
yeah, I've seen them trying to make them two together. I don't understand how the hell they come up with this. But see, this is what you get when you have civil rights. They went out there and did all that marching for all these civil rights, and look who's taking advantage of all that work.
Right.
You see,
Everybody but us.
everybody.
Right.
but we the ones that did the fighting, and we the ones that's on the front lines, and we was the ones getting bit by the dogs, and we was the ones getting beat up by the police and spit on by the man. But now all of a sudden, it's a black history.
Well, we did all that to be integrated.
That killed us. I hate integration. We were
Yeah.
stronger as a community and stronger as a people under
Well,
segregation than we have ever been under integration.
if you think about it, when we integrated, even when other countries come here, they still don't integrate. They still stay amongst
Mm-mm.
themselves. So
Right.
basically,
And
their community, they got communities right now called little Ukrainian already, where they got all their own little stores and all this stuff. We don't even have that.
we had it,
But
and we
but
gave
We
it away.
we gave it away. But when we stay
now in our community,
segregated, the thing
you
about
got
this,
the
when you stay segregated, what happens? You stay strong.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. That's why they had to get rid of segregation. See, they don't have money if we're not a part of their economy. We
Right.
were
No,
separated from their economy, so they couldn't grow. See, this is the real reason for Tulsa. Because they couldn't participate in an economy because we held a economy within our communities. So they had
Right.
to destroy the communities.
so now we don't have no community producing nothing unless you want a community of rappers.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that we are producing is music. Um,
entertainers and athletes.
yeah, we can tell jokes about what's really going on, but as soon as you act serious about it, it's hate speech. So I don't know.
Well, what I don't get is they give you these entertainers and these athletes supposedly for your heroes, and then the first thing they do is stick them in a dress.
Hmm.
Oh, I understand it. That's all psychological. You know,
Hmm.
see, if you look at America, America was built on something, especially when the entertainment came out with movies and different things. We are we are fixated on heroes, right? So we have this in our minds. We got to have a hero. You know, that's the whole premise of why they push Jesus. It's a hero in your life, right? And so when you create these heroes in your life, now that you have started to worship these heroes, I'll put them in a dress. So if I put your hero in a dress, what do you think you're going to do?
Well, you see, what you seeing is the results of 500 years of this psychological war that you just mentioned.
Right.
We had never came out from up under a state of war. We just kept fighting. We quit fighting while they kept fighting, and they took
Exactly.
it from being kinetic to being more mental, and tried to gain control of the mentality, and then tried to go back to the kinetic warfare. See, we're getting back to the kinetic warfare now.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
I see as I know we got somebody that's breaking these chains that's on our brains, and he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Why?
AK, because he said what don't nobody else want to say.
But what purpose would have served the so-called power structure that we see now to have this information start hitting the deck now? Because see, as our information has grown, you notice this disinformation is growing exponentially too.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You see, so they had to step up this other game because they lost the first game.
Right. And the reason why
So
the reason why you see the disinformation game is exponentially growing so fast is because of this. Our people don't have a base of knowledge. So when you learn
yeah,
something new, you know, you can attach it to the base. It's hard to move you. But since you don't have a base of knowledge, and I'm talking about from a in general stance, I ain't saying there's pockets of people that know and that have always been in the know. But you know, if you put all this disinformation with all the regular or the truth, you don't have anything to attach it to because you don't have a good basis of what real life is, what real history is, what real um, our real stance in this world.
now you see the real reason for this disinformation. You just very articulately vocalize that because as we start to reconnect with that base that we've been severed from, they have to come up with another way to try to sever us from getting back to that base. Hence
Exactly.
all this other nonsense we got going on. There are too many people out here right now on this Sunday morning who are actually working on trying to figure out where their roots are.
True.
That is a threat to the whole system because the value in the system was in the fact that we didn't know what position we played in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once we learn where we're supposed to be and learn how to play our position, the system becomes very weak very fast.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And they trying to keep you from making them weak. They can't build themselves up. Quick just started talking about how they can't teach certain things in school.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So they
Right.
got no other way to defend against this reconnection other than with this nonsense they throwing out here in the game, putting your men in dresses and
True
then
indeed.
shaving all the hair off your women.
True indeed.
That's to
Images.
keep you.
Yeah,
Yes,
they doing
it's
the.
a psychological game.
Right.
Go ahead,
It's in the
quick. I
bed,
hear you
so
back there.
Go
that's what they doing.
ahead, coach.
They're reversing roles to where we can't. You can't hear me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That we're
I
reversing
can hear you.
roles to where all the movies are showing women being men and all the men are being women. If you watch the movie, the men's they're weak, they're scary. The women are
Yep.
coming to save the day. They're fighting the dinosaurs and goblins. They're everything now.
Well,
So
they
now
turned
it's like
the women. They turned the women into the magic Negro that they had in all the movies to begin with.
right.
You see, because
So
that used to be the man's part. They was the magic Negro that could come in and come up with a solution to these problems that the
and save the
so-called
day.
superhero could use. Yes, yes, and that's another level of psychology because you got to think, how come they got to have a magic Negro?
But we do have a magic Negro.
We are the magic Negroes, and in every movie you see it, they just changed it from being a man to being a woman.
Well, right
Right.
now we
But the
got
concept,
our
hmm?
Superman right now in the ghetto will be Charleston White.
Oh Lord,
Only because
boy, if you man,
he's
no,
putting a
hell no,
mirror
you
in the
go,
community. You don't think so? With all the rap
no,
music and stuff,
hell no,
he's
that's a
going against
distraction.
rappers
Oh,
and
he
gang
what
members.
and what good they gonna do?
Hey man, we gotta stop somewhere. We gotta start
Well,
somewhere.
now wait a minute, wait a minute. I understand, and I agree that we do have to start somewhere. But sitting out here just putting everybody on blast on social media ain't the way to start. You start that shit at your house.
Yeah, you right. And
And you
that you
start
said that
that,
though.
and you start that, wait a minute, you start that with the raising of your children. You don't
Right.
wait to get on social media and start whining about what you see somebody else doing.
But wait a minute, wait a minute. The man been running in Fort Worth. He been doing children program use for forever. You got videos of him down there fighting with city councilors and police officers in his own community. He's been doing this for years. He just not getting on social media.
But how is that going? I mean, because although I see the rap industry as a problem right now, if you go back a few years when the music
There's
before it
no balance
changed,
to the music.
no, because they used to be that music was actually trying to tell you something. Rap had a story to tell. Now the story they tell is not
Right.
the story that they live. See, it was
No, they
different.
just making
That's
it. They'll
facts.
dream it.
Right,
They'll
right.
dream it.
So
Wake up. They're just
yes.
dreams.
Well, see, here's the deal though. If it was used like it's supposed to be, because see what he need to be doing instead of out there hollering rapper, 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 is let's change the theme and use this stuff as our weapon instead of using it against us. You get what I'm saying? How can we
But the
take these
Jews
young
said that
rappers?
that's how they make their money. The
Well, then
PR
maybe
team,
okay, hold it. Now you got me.
they say that's how they make their money. That's why they
Okay.
won't promote nothing
Wait a minute,
positive.
Well, see,
hold on. We
and
jumping
that's where
on
you got me.
everywhere. Hold up. Wait a minute. We
Huh?
jumping everywhere. Because I mean, hold up. Let me say this. You're making a good point when it comes to rap music. Because I know when we grew up in the 70s and 80s, it had a positive tone, and then they turned around and went to a gangster tone, or telling you about what's going on in the environment. now is
That was
more
a takeover.
is that before the takeover?
That's all. That is a takeover. When
No,
it
he said that
changed, that
is.
was
Well, I think that NW.
Can you really
Go ahead.
blame NWA?
I think you go.
I'm just saying.
No, but it was the start.
yep.
It was the start.
He talking about the start
But
of
Because you had
gangster
groups.
rap.
You had people, organizations getting together then trying to ban rap music and saying what it was going to become to. Back then, back in '92, you had
Yep.
groups
Yeah,
saying,
with
"Hey,
With the July crew going to
yeah,"
Supreme
they was
Court.
like, "Man, we got to stop this because this ain't who we are, and this is about to get outrageous." And we was young, we was like, "Man, them folks crazy, man. I like listening to
Yep.
Tupac and all this and all that." And now it's called drill. Now they doing drill music, but they actually doing drills, which means drill means you going to kill somebody or you going to shoot somebody, and
Is
then
that
you
what
go
that means?
after you do the drill, you got to rap about it. You get what I'm saying? That's your drill music.
I didn't know what that shit meant, man. Thank you for informing me. I have been curious about that for a long ass
Yeah, so
time.
they say, "Oh, we went drilling. We went to go do some drilling." That mean they going to find some so-called ops, who they call ops, and gun them down and kill them or whatever, and then come. That's what the boy in jail for in Atlanta for right now,
Right.
because all this stuff they rapped about is stuff
Right.
that they did.
Talking about Ghana.
All right, so
That's
where's the
drill music.
disconnect at? My question is, where's the disconnect,
Huh?
or where can we put your on? Because this has been going on since the '60s, since integration, to destroy that family to get to where we at right now. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we
Been the,
about it.
that's been
Now
the
you
plan all along.
right. Like, let me jump in there with you, B. So you was
Go
talking
ahead,
about
Jerome. Go ahead, Jerome.
when you was talking about is that the plan? So check this out. If you look at if you know about us culturally, going back centuries, going back thousands of years, going back tens of thousands of years, we always communicated through music. We always communicated through storytelling, right? You know, that's how we would transpose our history to the next generation, was through storytelling. So rap is like this advancement of storytelling, right? That's how it started off. So they know that's how we pass our history between one another, and it stays with us and it stays strong. So if you integrate into the storytelling, which that's what they done, and when you turn it into gangster rap and make it profitable, because people are gonna say, well, it's art, and you know they're making money from it, but yet you're killing people, you know, and not just literally. I'm talking about the figurative. Words are going into people's brains, and then they are transforming and doing different things, right?
Right.
So they stole this art of storytelling from us, and they turned it against us. That's what happened.
Well, we need to figure out a way to get people to figure out a way to change the tune to the music and get people to enjoy it. Because it seems like whatever the beat says, we move to the beat. If the beat says tear the club up, we're gonna tear the club up.
That's why I'm telling you. That's why I'm saying that's so ingrained in us. When you hear the war drums, it was time for war, right? And so they still beating these drums, but they just putting a different message behind it. They're not saying kill the enemy, shit. They saying kill yourself.
Fact.
Yeah, because I ain't know what Molly was
Brother
until Future came out. You heard me?
Ask my
When
kids.
Future came out talking about Percocets and Molly, we didn't know nothing about that stuff.
Right. I'm with you. I didn't know. And you know, it was crazy because even with gangster rap, it went from selling drugs to taking drugs.
Go ahead, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I think he was on. Do you have any opinion?
Oh, Mr. Wathrow, a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of the way he's an
breaking
elder
up
out of
on
the
my
group.
end. Hold on. You're breaking up over here.
Uh-oh, my bad.
Getting a little
man, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you was breaking up.
Get out because I think my internet.
I think I'm good. Can you hear me?
Now you're getting better.
Let me know when I'm Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now you still breaking up on my side. Can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah, he
the
went
question
back
I
to
want to
breaking
ask
up.
you, Mr. Monroe.
Ask the question and see if we can hear.
Who's asking the question?
I don't know what's going on, man. Maybe I need to stay out and let y'all do this one because it is bad for me right now.
Ask the question, Brian.
Ask the
See
question.
if I can hear it.
The question is, since you is the head out of this group we got right now, the rap came into play because I know the music that you listen to is inspiring. The groups of back in the 50s, 60s, and even going up into the 70s, and then rap comes into play. I knew how my father felt about rap music. I didn't know, it was going to get to where I didn't even think it was going to last as long as it did. But now, the question is how you feel about it? Because
I'm gonna tell you the truth
everything
about it,
now.
man. No, because you're breaking up. Let me go ahead and get that one out the way while I can hear
it. I'm gonna let you answer. I'm gonna let you answer, Mr. Wathrow. But B, just ask your questions. You breaking up too quick. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me get that one out the way. I personally, because of when I grew up, I was there from the very start of that industry, that genre, till now. And I personally don't have a problem with the genre. I can see how it would fit in with us culturally, but I do have a problem with the takeover that happened with the genre. And I do not subscribe to the way that it's being produced and sent out into the world today. The hell is this? A help sign? You need some help, baby? Blink your eyes twice if we need to come get you. I mean, we ain't gonna let you, man. All you gotta do is give us a signal. Throw a hand up in there and say, yeah, let us know you're doing all right. And see, we'll have to run the posse your way if you get in danger.
I know that's right.
I mean, he looked like he had to do some blinking in there. he was trying to communicate.
Hey, you heard that, B? The posse. That means cowboys.
Look at him, man.
Wow.
Wait a minute. I got to catch up for a minute. This nigga needed saving. I got to get. All right. It's over. Now we straight. Let's do this. I'll take my shirt off.
Uh-oh.
I'll put my shoes on. I thought we was going to come get you, boy.
I'm good.
Woo. Oh, I'm so glad. Now, okay, back to what were we?
We were talking about the influence of rap music.
Man, it's
society.
Okay, now I know what. The rap music, like I said, I got no problem with the genre.
Right.
And when it first come out the gate, I was swinging with that shit too. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Didn't buy into everything they were saying, but at least it was understandable in a context that I could relate to.
Right.
I don't have a context to relate to with what they doing now.
All
you
you
see what
do
I'm
watch
getting
the
at?
news.
But see, that's the problem because the news is complete brainwashing, so I don't really fool with that shit.
Right.
Only thing I see on the news is the weather, and them niggas be lying too.
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't put no faith in what that TV set says. Right now, the TV set tell you Ukraine is blowing up, but you notice they still ain't never told you the reason why Ukraine is blowing up.
Right.
They give you some superficial reason, and then you supposed to take that, and all of a sudden you just supposed to do like we say we do. But they never sit down and explain to you how all this got started.
I think it's just the Democrats trying to send over Negro replacements, making sure they get folks to vote for them in the elections. That's why they open up all the borders and stuff.
But these people that you say ain't gonna vote, these people come from places where voting is not a thing that they do. So they're not really gonna have a major impact on the voting system. They don't understand voting to begin with. They'll vote if you come up there and make them vote. But if you don't go in there, huh?
Right.
Let me jump in there. I got you because we switching lanes faster than Brian running from a car pavement. But
Ooh, leave my cousin alone. I ain't taking that shit
but
like that. Hold on. The nigga over there in distress and you gonna kick him? No, baby. You gotta get off my kinfolk like that. You just can't beat him up because he down. You
right,
see, he ain't throw no more signs up. He trying to make it through the day. Quick.
He trying to survive. But
Yeah, all I gotta do is get to the bar. I can go to work, then I can rest.
but my thing with the rap industry, and I'm gonna say this, I'm like you. I was cool with it. You know, I couldn't relate to every part, but you know, I could understand. I think I had a problem with the industry when they transformed from just telling you or reporting what was going on in the culture to actually modifying and changing and driving what's going on in the culture. You
Let
know,
me wait a minute. Let me put it to you this way, and maybe this will make some sense to you. The rap industry was segregated, and then it got integrated, and then when it got integrated, it fell down,
right?
So
just like our
integration is the
communities
cause of
did.
everything, ain't
Huh?
it?
Yeah, because
That's the
we
cause.
are
That's the
not,
root problem of everything.
well, because we're not supposed to be operating in that system that they use. That system was imposed upon us. You see what
True,
I'm saying? And
true.
We
because
supposed to be.
and
We
because
supposed to be controlling our own
well,
destiny.
now here, because we were able to control their system and our system, they had to come up with something else to keep us from realizing what we could actually do. Integration was one of those roads and one of those avenues that they used because through integration is like putting milk in coffee. You diluting it.
Of
And as
course.
you dilute it, you change
Making it
it.
weak.
Yes, you put enough milk in coffee, you won't taste the coffee. Now you got people in China rapping. So now
Right,
you got to ask them, how much milk is in that cup of
Yeah,
coffee
I
now?
taught it.
right.
See what I'm saying?
Is it still coffee?
Ain't no more coffee.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They done took it, they integrated it, and then they can steady blend stuff into it until it's
Right.
no longer what it was to begin with.
True.
Same thing they did with Juneteenth.
True
Same
indeed.
thing. Every time they see us find a lane that we can operate in for ourselves, their next call of duty is to come in there and break that up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So you
me
go
to
ahead.
me to me it makes perfect sense. I mean, because if I was to let you operate in your own lane, then you would control that lane. You would be strong in that
Yep,
lane, and I would have no
yep,
sway over you. And so
yep.
every time that we strengthen something, they have to take it over. Because if they don't, it'll be a point of strength for us. You see?
Well,
It's just like,
I
oh,
still remember us in our segregated communities. And I
right,
remember the strength and resilience of those communities. Despite
right,
everything that was coming against them, they still not only survived, but they prospered
right.
and they multiplied. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Only after we allowed them to start pouring milk in our coffee did our communities start to come apart. You see, because they go to your community, the first thing they do is take out your schools. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Oh,
once
yeah,
they
yeah.
take out the school, they take out the tax base. I mean, the tax money from that community moves out of that community and starts servicing another community. So that community gets weaker, but the other community grows stronger. You
Exactly.
see? So our communities just dry up, and eventually we have to go over to that community just to meet the basic needs of our lives.
And that
Now
was the
we done
plan.
moved over, our community is gone. That
That's the plan.
foundation, that strength, that base we was working from is no longer there. See, I remember when people used to come into the city to go to work, and they'd work as long as they wanted to, then they'd come back home. And everybody made sure they was buried back home. So that's why we used to call it a homecoming, because you
Home,
coming home. See what I'm saying?
but
So when they
I
bring
think
you back,
I
go
think
ahead.
what you're saying is very powerful. So let me ask you this question. If you look at everything, I'm talking about if you're taking each piece that creates a community, do we still have community?
Yes, we're just not allowed to operate our communities like we were before.
Okay.
But if you go into every city in this country, you will find what they call the inner city.
Right. Now
The inner cities are
I'm not talking about a
no, hold on.
gathering of us.
No, 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 no. The inner city is our community, but we don't control our community. See, it is in our nature to live amongst ourselves. We always gonna be grouped amongst ourselves. We're gonna have pockets scattered out everywhere else, but there's always a central core. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I do. And
That
see,
is our community, but we don't control the things that go on in our community like we used to. See,
And
when I was
that's what
growing
I'm
up,
talking about.
our community made up the police force. Our community made up the fire department. You see what I'm saying? It was people from our community that was dealing with our community. That's what made our community so strong. Now you need a cop, you got to call them other folks in. Now you need a fire department, you got to call them other folks in. You see what I'm
right.
saying?
Oh yeah.
So that puts you automatically in a psychological position of weakness, if nothing else.
You know what? I absolutely agree with you. And that's why I posed the question, do we have communities? Because if you're not controlling your community, then it's not your community. So we spent, and I'm talking about from spending last year, $1.6 trillion, $1.6 trillion as a so-called black people. So that $1.6 trillion could create police stations, could create fire departments, could create school systems inside of our own community if we were
Okay,
community minded enough to think this is what we needed.
okay. This that number that you
Yes,
just
sir.
called out,
Yes, sir.
that is the reason for integration
It's correct.
because they couldn't touch that amount of wealth when we kept it bottled up in our communities. And
Correct.
we kept it bottled up in our communities by choice and by force, but it stayed in the communities. They couldn't touch that money because it just circulated amongst our communities. They integrate you. Now everybody got access to that dollar, and when you go down to the
Yeah.
corner store, it ain't people that look like you that run that store. Now, when
Right.
I was a kid, I go down to the corner store. The guy that owned the store, the guy that ran the store, his name was Mr. Williams, and I knew him so well that he would fix me my lunch when I got on the hay truck the next morning, so I'd have lunch to eat while I'm
Right.
hauling hay all day.
Right.
Mr. Williams ain't there.
Mm-mm.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So even the basic parts of our own community have been taken away from us. You can go in our communities and you can get your hair cut. Got some damn good barbers, you know what I'm saying? You can
Right.
come into our communities and get you something to eat. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? But you can't come into our communities and go to our bank.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? You can't come to our community and go to our doctors.
Correct.
See what I'm saying? We still got that community, but you
Uh,
can't find and you can't access them services because they needed that 1 point X trillion dollars to circulate in the economy. Otherwise, their economy would be gone.
exactly.
You
If
hold
you
up
look,
their economy.
right. I mean, they control health of our community. They control the spending in our community. We think we spend it on what we want, but we spend it on what they show us we
Yep,
need.
yep. And they
Um,
program people pretty good nowadays.
exactly. So if they controlling your health and they controlling your money, they controlling your community. And see, I don't think we have realized it as a community yet. The aspects of
Yeah,
how they control us.
yeah. Well, see, what we haven't realized as a community yet, that those are all acts of war.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Anytime you seek to destroy a person, the process you use to destroy that person is an act of war. These people have been launching a war against us for 500 years, but we haven't been fighting.
I
All
think
we've been doing is dying and suffering.
right. I think it's because of the subtleness of it that we don't
That's
understand that it is
exactly it.
war.
That's exactly it.
You know,
That is it. That is
right?
it. That is it. That's how they pull it off every time.
Right. It's just like
Every daggone time.
I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's like if you put a frog in the boiling water, it jumps out. But if you put the frog in the cold water and turn the temperature up slowly, it'll boil to death. You know.
Now, I can beat you on that one
Well, I'm
because
not. I'm
there's a
not trying. I'm
well.
not
Now
trying to
listen
beat
to
you,
me.
bro. I'm trying to come with
Now
you.
listen to me. I'm gonna show. I want to put a little finer point on where you're saying, so you see where you're going. There's an old
Yes,
African
sir.
proverb that says or asks a really pertinent question: how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time. That's my mantra.
That's how you. That's how you pull this off. That's your subtleness that you was just referring to. One bite at a
Yeah,
time, baby.
that's
One
my
bite at a
mantra. I
time.
live by
So
that.
with all that y'all talking about and all this going on, how do we stop the killing of each other, of ourselves killing each other at
Hold
crazy
it.
numbers?
No. Stop.
I'm just
First
asking.
of all, well, no. First of all, you got to see who's killing who. Because to say that black people are killing black people negates the fact that all black people ain't the same black people. All skin folks ain't kin folks. So who
Right.
is actually killing us? See what I'm saying?
That's
Who's
true.
actually doing the killing of us? Because it's not always us killing us, but we are taking casualties every day.
We are.
See what I'm saying? But this invisible line that people keep tending to forget about, where they think because your skin is the same color as my skin, you the same person that I am. See what I'm saying? Leads us into a false assumption of black on black crime. But it could very well be invaders on native crimes or invaders on indigenous people's crimes, however you want to say it.
Right.
Just because their skin is black does not make them my people. So who is actually killing us? Who is hunting us? Because they're not just killing us, they're hunting us. They're using hunting techniques on us. They are hunting us. Who is these black people?
Yeah, well, who is it?
Yeah, who is that's well see now
I
because you
think.
gotta
I think.
understand. Wait a
Let,
minute, quick. Let me catch you right here. You gotta
go ahead.
understand that out of all the conversations that everybody has across this nation every day, and I'm just saying this as a general fact because I don't listen to everybody's conversation. There's one particular group of people that you never hear nothing about. They tell you about the white folks. They tell you about the Native Americans. They tell you about the Indians. They'll tell you about the Japanese. They'll tell you about the Koreans, the Taiwanese. They'll tell you about every group of people they know except one, them black ass Europeans.
Damn. Them
See, you
black.
gotta understand, you got a group of people in here that don't eat fried chicken and collard greens, but they look like you. You see what I'm saying? You got a
I,
group of people in here that look like you that have never, ever, ever lived your experience.
that is true.
And these people tend to be even more racist toward you than the white folks.
Are
Who
we
is
talking
killing
about
us?
I
Africans?
Who
think.
is
I
it
think.
could be hold on, because I heard him in the background. Let me catch him right quick. What the hell
Okay.
is an African?
Oh yeah, you're right. Because that's a whole continent, ain't it?
It
And
is.
it's not even the original people there. So what the
Ooh,
hell is an African? Because
ooh.
every African tribe you talk about, dude, they got a migration story coming into Africa.
Well, damn.
Catch any one of them tribes you want to. And start going back to listen. Every one of them got a migration story that talks about them coming into Africa. Who the hell is the Africans?
Mm.
I think that you making strong
You
points.
got me there.
I think because people don't when you're so used to being taught that a black person is a black person, right? So, excuse me, you look at black people as being monolithic. You look at black people as being one that came from one that has always been one. And that's not true. That's never been true.
Wait a minute. There's only two groups of people that logic works on. One of them is called so-called black folks, and the other one is called so-called white folks. Everybody else know who the hell they is. Who's playing
Yeah,
this
that's what I'm
game?
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Who is playing this game? Race is a concept developed here.
Right? That is true. And not that long
See,
ago.
and not that damn long ago. Somebody with a church say amen. So who is actually doing what? To who?
Right. Right.
So see,
You know what? I totally agree
this
with
has
you.
bothered me.
Black
This has
European.
bothered me from the first time I heard these so-called black on black crime statistics.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Because they don't never tell you exactly who the perpetrators of these crimes are. They'll tell you about the victims, tell you shit about the people who did it. Look at what's going on down there in Memphis right now. They tell you they done had all kind of stories about the victims. There's very few stories about them cops that did the job, though, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was
Right.
hunting us, man?
Right.
And if they ain't the one if they ain't the one hunting us, who are they paying to hunt us? And how are they paying them? Because in every situation you find in America, if you want to find out how it got started, follow the damn money.
Follow the money. Always.
Okay, who paying these people?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Who's putting out these contracts?
Right.
And why?
Oh,
I'm telling you,
I think
wait a minute,
we
I'm gonna
know
tell you
why.
now. Wait a minute, I'm gonna tell you right now. And you can believe me if you want to. I don't even care. Indian removal has never ended. And part of
Right.
Indian root removal was assimilation. If you want to assimilate, and you can find this in Alabama's records, and you off your reservation, I got the rights to kill you on sight.
Right.
They still suffering with Indian removal and don't even recognize that the whole game is still being played. Your
Exactly.
question need to be is where the hell they gonna try to move the Indians to this time?
This time. That is true. But you need a
And
true
don't you know
understanding of
they making plans for you too? Why you think they talking about reparations? All they want to know is how much money will it take to get these niggas to move. And they keep floating
right.
numbers out there. They done went from 240,000 all the way up to 5 million in California, who got no
Right.
history of chattel slavery with the United States.
It's more
See what I'm
San
saying?
Francisco, ain't it, that's doing that?
Yes, what I heard there's another one out there that started the other day talking about their $5 million price tag. Because all they
And then
want to
it's
know is how much money is it going to take. But here's the trick to it though. What's going to happen to the value of that money once they get it to do the job that they trying to get it to do? Because they already telling you that they trying to go to this digital coin. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So they're going to give you a check with paper money. And then
Right.
2 days after you get that check and get that paper money,
It's
guess what happens to the paper money?
worthless.
Yeah,
But
you need a wheelbarrow to buy a loaf of bread.
right.
See, how
But I
long that
mean,
shit gonna last in? And then wait a minute, when your money run out and you in some faraway land, surrounded by
right.
people who did not want you there to begin with,
Right.
what's gonna happen then? See, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
It's true indeed.
See,
But
I'm telling
but
you, man,
I think
they set them
I
up.
think
It's all a big old thing. They tell you about all this racism, how bad it is here, how bad we've been treating you, how you never can make it right here, you'll never be free here. It's all the same thing they said when they was trying to push that American colonization society, baby.
right.
Them same
Because
songs they was singing then, they still singing them now.
I don't have to
Who's the new
take you off
American?
the land if you decide to leave. I
Yeah,
get it.
yes. And I'm gonna pay you just like they did Indian removal. Okay, Alabama's rough on the Indians in 1819. You couldn't
There's
you couldn't
a
hunt,
lot of
you
dark,
couldn't
strong
fish.
Indians
Wait,
down there, though.
wait a minute. You couldn't hunt, you couldn't fish, you couldn't farm, you couldn't own property, you couldn't keep yourself out of jail. You see what I'm saying? They had
Oh yeah,
reduced those Indians to eating tree bark and nuts off the ground. Had them in a destitute position. And then came in front of them in a destitute position and say, hey, if you go to Oklahoma, we got your back.
right.
See the game playing out the same way now? They tell you how destitute your position is, all this bad stuff that's happening to you, white supremacists is running out of control. Don't you want to go over there to Africa? You can go to
Hell
Africa
no.
and be all you want to be. That's the same thing they did with Indian removal, coach. That's the same thing. Only this time, Indian removal, Africa was west of the Mississippi.
Right.
Now Africa gonna have to be east of the Atlantic Ocean or west of the Pacific Ocean, however you want to look at it. But either way it goes, the game still plays out the same. You end up surrounded in hostile territory, and eventually you get taken over by the hostiles that's surrounding you. Welcome to Oklahoma.
True indeed.
This shit is still playing, man. That book is still the same book. They ain't even had enough sense to rewrite 2-3 words on the page.
You know what? It's crazy because the book and the plan and the game plan was perpetrated by people that probably didn't have more than a third grade education. But
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That game was made up and constructed by them motherfucking black Europeans. Excuse my French.
I
They
said
brought that
the
shit
ones
over
that perpetrated and the ones that's controlling it now. I know who made it.
here. Well, okay. Then don't use the word perpetrator. Use the word puppet because that's the role that they playing is a puppet. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? They don't control their strings. Their strings are being controlled by somebody else. You just said that yourself. So they're not a perpetrator. They're a puppet. And these puppets are doing what the perpetrators is telling them to do. But even the
Right.
puppets is getting tired of being puppets now, and that's bringing up a problem.
Right.
Puppets don't like staying
And I
puppets for long.
just to be clear, I said the ones perpetrating,
Now I
not
understand what you're saying.
perpetrators. I said the one
Yeah,
perpetrating.
I understand
They were
exactly
given the plan.
because you making that definition that there's two groups of people operating
Right.
together in this process.
Right.
What I'm
Right.
saying is one group of people controlling both sides of the process.
Of
So
course.
just as much as one side is controlled, the other side is controlled too, and the enemy is the one who's controlling both.
That is
His
correct.
job. His job is to make sure those two don't never come together in some kind of understanding that could topple him. This is the reason, or this is the outcome from Bacon's rebellion. Because Bacon's rebellion is when they took their eye off the ball and saw what would happen if you don't keep these people away from each other.
Right.
See? Now, once they got all together, they realized that they was going to take out these people who call themselves running shit. That's when them people, they're not stupid. They realize, oh, we got to fix this. See what I'm saying? So we're going to set one above the other and let
Right.
that one above the other do to the other what we need done. But the minute the one above quit doing what we need done, guess what happened to him? He become the other. And that's what you're seeing going on now.
Right.
Strings are being cut. They call it a great reset. I'm starting to actually like that term. Because in a lot of ways, we need a lot of resetting around this game. You watch how this it's not going to evolve, it's going to devolve. You see what I'm saying? We want to go backwards a few steps before we get to go forward anymore.
True indeed.
That is just the natural pace of things. They make it sound like something really outrageous is going on, but it's just the natural course of life, man. Y'all can't
Right.
hold power forever. Nobody holds power forever. Rome only held it for 1,000 years. That's just a drop of bucket in the course of time.
Right. Well, that wrong.
So
Barely a
yeah,
philosopher.
they can't hold it, and they know they can't hold it. They're trying to extract as much out of it while they got it before they know it's gone, and they see the great reset coming too. This thing is on a cycle, man. The Mayans tried to tell y'all that too. They really did. They wrote it in their calendar, and then people took that calendar and used it for some spooky shit. But there's a cycle. You know, you hear them talking about going into the age of Aquarius. Well, yeah, we do go into the age of Aquarius, but that does not come without consequences. Go look and find out where the North Pole is today.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I do.
Because there's something that's really going to happen that's really going to tear up everything. And I promise you, it's well on its way. But that North Pole ain't nowhere close to where everybody thinks Santa Claus lives right now.
You talking about the solar the pole exchange or something?
We got every 26,000 years, according to what we can see in the rock, the magnetic poles shift.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
And the
about.
North Pole goes south and the South Pole goes north. And that causes a lot of devastation on the planet. Go look at Africa. Africa's breaking apart, man.
Yeah. It's about to be two
Africa,
continents.
that's right. Africa's going to be two continents. When that pole gets through shifting, look at this earthquake we just had in Turkey. See what I'm saying? This is all a result of that pole shifting. If you go back 2 weeks ago and look at the data, you'll see that the magnetic field already collapsed and then had to come back up.
Y'all think the North Pole is like 12 miles off track or something like that?
No, that summit is in Russia, moving 7 miles a year.
Yeah, 7 miles a year. I thought it was 11 miles a year.
7 miles a year. Every year. Now there's gonna be a point somewhere on the other side of Europe where that thing is gonna be too far to come back. So see what it does, it oscillates, it bounces down and comes back, bounces down and comes back. But every time it comes back, it goes a little further south. You see what I'm saying? But it's gonna come a point where it's gonna bounce down and it ain't gonna be able to bounce back.
So
And
that's
that's
not
gonna
the
be
end of the world. It's just a lot of people gonna die when it happens.
well, it happens every 26,000 years. This is why we in this situation we in now. You see what I'm saying? Because every time that happens, the knowledge that was before becomes lost,
Right.
and everything has to be rebuilt. Hence the Great Reset. See what I'm saying?
Oh, that's
And
the
we've
great
had
reset.
that's the Great Reset. This is what they really talking about when they talking about that situation, because they know everything's going to have to be rebuilt. Why you think they trying to put so many documents in so many bomb-proof facilities? You see what I'm saying? Because they think if I put it over here, well, when the catastrophe comes, these records will survive, and we can use these to rebuild
Yeah,
the
somebody got to
civilization.
understand it first.
You know, because now when we look at information from before the last clip, they call that esoteric. You see what I'm saying? Or what's the word? Occult,
Occulted.
hidden,
Yeah.
hidden. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is the terminology that they hide it on, but they still were able to access some parts of that information. They couldn't get it all. Just like they find the little bits and pieces of books. You see them do that, and they take little pieces and put them together, and it don't be the whole page, but they can tell you what the whole
Right.
page say.
Right.
Seen that shit before? Okay, well, this is what they did again. So they didn't quite get it right, and they thought they was gonna get it right before we got to the reset, but we got to the reset before they got it right. Now they running like hell, trying to make up for their lost time.
Right.
They racing the clock, and they'll destroy and maim and kill whatever they have to beat that clock. You see them. You see that in play in rush hour traffic in the morning, and watch some of the shit people will do trying to get to work. You see what I'm saying? when they're under pressure. See what they'll do. They'll cut you off, push you off the road, cuss you out, run traffic lights, ignore stop signs, ain't
Right.
seen a signal since they got up this morning. See what I'm saying? And
Right.
they played it out in real life too.
True.
So now they rushing to get to this great reset so they don't get all their stuff tore up again. Ain't gonna work. If you believe in the Bible say they're gonna hide in the mountain and pray that the mountain fall down on top of them. So it ain't gonna even work hiding in the hills. I mean, what's going on?
Right.
And this is a natural procession of the earth. The climate is gonna change when the North Pole moves.
Right.
I can see that in Oklahoma's weather right now. The tornado zone done moved from Oklahoma to Arkansas on east.
I
See what
think
I'm
they
saying?
seeing it in LA right now. Southern
And that's
California.
because of where the North Pole is sitting, because it's allowing it to bring more of that weather from Russia into California.
Right.
See what I'm saying? When that
I
North
do.
Pole is setting where Santa Claus is supposed to be, then that jet stream blocks that weather from coming all the way across that ocean. And every
Right.
now and then you get what they call a polar vortex, because it'll kind of sneak in on the backside and get caught up in the jet stream. But basically that jet stream was a wall to keep some of that shit over there where it is. And then you
Right.
got that Pacific trench that runs up the west coast of America. That kind of keeps like anchorage at a moderate temperature. So when you got
Right.
the jet stream and this warm current up here, you could moderate the temperature and it would balance. And then they started seeing El Ninos and all this stuff here. Well, that's when they realized they was losing control. Now they
Right.
call it climate change because they don't want you to know that everything's going to get fucked up. But they tell you it's climate change, but it's not climate change. It's the pole shifting
Exactly.
and the stuff that's going to happen, when that happens. Watch, all these computer shits is going to quit working. If you smart, you'll go out and you'll find you one of them microwaves that don't work, and you'll take that microwave and dig you a hole where you can set that microwave in the ground, about 6 inches or so. Put any valuable electronic media you have, like your pictures and all that stuff, inside that microwave, close that door, and bury that damn thing. But see, that's the Faraday cage. And the next thing is going to happen is eventually the ions from the sun, which makes up the northern lights, is going to get through. And when it does, it's going to fry all this electronic equipment. This is when they talk about the informational blackout. See, they see all this shit coming. They see it all coming, because once that happens, then if you ain't got your stuff protected, your stuff is gone. The
Right.
microwave is a Faraday cage. A
Right.
Faraday cage will keep that from happening to your stuff, so you can at least keep your stuff that you keep on your electronic devices. I mean, if I lost this phone now, man, there's all kind of pictures and stuff on this phone that I can't replace.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I pick up
Right.
stuff all the time and I save stuff all the time. I got all kind of stuff on this phone, and I don't really need an internet connection to see what I got stored in my files. All I need to do is be able to power this damn thing on and look, and I got my stuff. I
True.
keep my documents in files. You see what I'm saying? So I can keep
Right.
them walled off from everything. I don't want to lose all my stuff. And I got an old microwave. I keep old microwave around here, dude. Get me 2 steps, everything will go in there.
Yeah,
Because I know shit is changing. They don't tell you about all this. All they tell you is a great reset. They don't tell you what's resetting. That's a disservice to you, because it doesn't allow you to plan accordingly.
prepare. Of course,
So,
they don't want you to prepare. They don't want you to be ready.
they want you to die. Remember
Exactly.
the Georgia Guidestones? They want the population stabilized at 500 million worldwide.
Right.
That means 6.5 billion people.
Really. Right. At
Billion
the,
with the B. They got to die.
right.
That's what they want. That's what they hoping for. That's what they planning for.
Hey, do you
And
think?
somebody
Do you
went,
think? Do you
huh?
think because? Do you think because this time is hastening is why they tore down the Georgia Guidestones?
No, no, there's another war. This is a beautiful one too, because this is the puppets cutting their strings, and
Okay.
the freed puppets went down there and said, "Fuck your stones, I blow this shit up." Well, I seen that out there in there. Crowed. I recognized the signature the minute I seen it. Well, the puppets done took over. And that's what's happening. And that's why you got all these people screaming and running around here with their hair on fire. They
But
started to realize that huh?
if the Great Reset is about to happen, then what's the point of trying to?
You still there,
Yeah.
You heard me?
Is he there? I couldn't hear you.
Coach?
Okay.
Coach, you
So
still there?
if the
Okay.
great population, if the Great Reset is happening, why are they trying to depopularize the Earth?
They figure
That's
that it's
gonna do it
gonna
by
be
itself, ain't
easier.
it?
Well, what it is when everything gets done, we want to have a population that's a manageable size. See, when it's a whole bunch of y'all and there's
But
already
when
chaos and
the Great
devastation
Reset
everywhere,
happens,
yeah, they're gonna die
yeah,
anyway. It's just a part. Hey,
right. So
I just want to make sure they die. Now we can wait, and some of them might make it, and it might be too many. Or I can start working on this shit now and call these things down some, so when it do happen, we can hit our target.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So I
mhm.
take a little bit here and there. Now I take a little bit here and there, and by the time everything pops off, then that'll take care of the rest of them. Now I got a population that I can manage. And since I done spent my time gathering up all these resources, I got a way to manage them because I can manage them through their resources. They've been learning that all this time with us. They manage us through the resources. You see what I'm saying? So they can
Right.
manage their population with the resources that they have, and they can have the population go gather more resources, which allows them to be able to maintain that situation longer.
Right.
That's how that shit works.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear
Yeah,
you.
Can you hear me? All right, I'm sorry,
yeah,
y'all.
we ain't.
My internet is having problems like crazy.
Oh, okay. We told you.
But
Blink if you need help.
All right, why don't you just go on your phone and use it? Use your phone internet.
you know what? You're right. You're right. It just kind of frustrating because I want to jump in, but every time I jump in, it chops up. So that's why I actually
Well,
been trying to engage
Yeah, I'm on my phone. I'm driving all
as much
around
as I
town.
am
That's good.
because of my internet.
yeah, do that. Cause
But
we
I tell
sure
you
have
what,
missed
brother
you.
Rotho, you dropping some bombs today.
Yeah, he
That
dropping
great
Yeah,
it.
reset
no.
that's the big one right there. That great
That's
reset is
what
the big one though.
mm. They've been knowing this amongst
The Great
themselves for a
Reset.
long time. If you go back and look, you can even see them on YouTube. There's a radio show that comes on about 7 days a week at midnight down here called Coast to Coast AM. And they was talking about the Great Reset and what was going to happen 20 years ago. Mm.
So
I've been doing the
it's
same thing
part of a
they've been
plan
doing.
then. From what you're saying.
But see, no, it's part of the natural cycle of the earth. The planning is trying to figure out how we're gonna get past this. And I'm telling you, they were talking about it on AM radio 20 years ago. But our people don't listen to AM radio, so they missed that conversation or those conversations. You see what I'm saying? They give you music and then they talk about real stuff on their other stations that you don't listen to.
Right.
And that's just what they did. And they've been on this topic for a long time. Just
It's
like
like,
they come up with a disclosure. And everybody thought that they was disclosing like the military's contact with UFOs and stuff. But
Right.
disclosure means disclosing everything. So now you got all these documentations and all these proofs about who these Indians are here too. That was disclosed also. See what I'm saying?
I'm gonna jump in here real quick, brother Walthrow. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna introduce another
Hmm.
guest. What's up? What's up, Big Russ?
What's going on, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Happy New Year. I hadn't checked in with you guys in
Yeah,
a few
I can
months.
hear you. Oh yeah, did we lose
What's going
Cut?
on, Brian? You said what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I said I hadn't checked in. Tell y'all Happy New Year. Let me see if I can come in and cause a little confusion in the group.
Come on in. Come on in.
I just so happened to click on and I heard the person talking about the Great Reset. I saw an Indian lady on TikTok talking about the COVID Great Reset. I ordered this book right here. COVID,
Right.
the Great Reset. The guy who wrote this thing, co-authored it, is the founder of he's the executive chairman and founder of the World Economic Forum. Man, they knew what this COVID thing was going to be. They had it planned, and the Indian lady talked about this book, so I ordered it. I hadn't had a chance to get into it, but I heard the person when I clicked on talking about the Great Reset. I said, he's talking about this book.
That's
And
part of the Great Reset.
and they're doing a lot economically, financially. They're moving around, but and I also heard him talking about the person was talking about like your electronics and things, and he's correct because we're almost like a solar flare away from having our whole grid knocked off. But
Right.
They
that's
don't need a
big.
solar flare. EMP would do it right now. 200 miles above. I mean, 200 feet above the ground. 2,000 feet above the ground. You detonate an EMP. You just fried the whole system all the way across the nation
Yeah.
because they
And
don't have a double redundancy system.
correct. And I heard you also talking about the radio station Coast to Coast. Man, I've listened to them for years with George Norrie. All those guys
Yep.
been
Now,
probably 50
yep.
years ahead of the game as far as putting that information
I
out
was
there.
I was listening to it when it first came on air when Art Bell brought it to life.
Yeah.
Because I caught Art Bell on another channel where he only had a show that lasted like an hour, but it was so daggone popular that they syndicated it and called it Coast to Coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, George Norrie is pretty cool. I kind of like George Norrie, but he ain't shit compared to Art Bell.
Yeah, those older ones. And I guess
Man, and the subjects they was touching at that time.
yeah,
They don't
they
touch
were
it.
like years ahead of everyone else as far as information. I got a question I was gonna pose with you with this great reset, and I know I came on this show several times, and we talk about the impact of all this information on Black people, and that's the biggest thing for me is with the resets, this changing of the guards, what people are calling it. How does it impact Black people, and what do we have in place to, I guess, correct any wrongs or put us on a path so we don't get left behind? Because I'm trying to figure out how to say this without coming off crazy, but it's just like
Let's go ahead
we're
and say it.
falling behind. We're falling behind on the political front because they're really not wanting to address our policies. They give us talking points and they give us emotional heartstrings to pull on, and they peel our emotional scabs. But they not really. There's nothing being put in place policy wise. And then on the financial aspect, every other group's getting policy and resources to help them get established, and we're sort of getting left behind. And policy is the key. That's something long term. So, like, for example, the Ukraine war, that was big. I hadn't been talked with you guys since then. They're getting so many resources that we don't have access to. Like, how are the government's paying to put these people up in New York City when the average rent in New York City is about $3,500 or $4,000? Who's fitting that bill? Hampton
How are they off?
University.
Wait a minute. Hold on. How are they offering to pay for pensions and social services in Ukraine? And they
Correct.
don't provide, and they can't provide fresh water for Flint.
Correct.
Why is Jackson down here suffering, and these people in Ukraine with this bullshit war is flourishing? It's
Correct.
all a big psyops, and the reason why
Yeah.
we don't come up is because we are the ones paying the damn bill.
Yeah.
Right. See,
That's why we can't come up. It ain't
that's
because of
something.
any lack of anything that's inside of us. We still have the same drive, the same will, the same determination, and the same ambitions that we've always had. But you cannot afford to pay for more than your household.
Yeah.
If you try to fund your house and everybody else's house up and down your daggone street, how much money's left in your pocket at the end of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I look at it like
go
this
ahead.
too. You know, I like you used. That you heard the term taxation without representation.
And you know why?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
please
let
go
me,
ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
because Russ, you made the point of why we can't get these things right. Everything that moves in Washington is because there's somebody or party that's moving it. We don't have a political party that moves for us. We don't have a political party that provides access ways for us inside of Washington. You know, who do we pay a booster? Who do we pay? I mean, you know, we pay for everything that's going on, but we pay for nobody to represent us. You know, everything comes
You know
through the
why?
lobby.
We were never supposed to be a part of this system.
Exactly.
This system was never designed for us to participate in all the way back to the 1400s.
Right.
This is not a system that we recognize culturally. This is a system that's been imposed upon our culture. This is another war tactic. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything, that's a war tactic. They take and strip from you to strengthen them. Taxation without representation, we wasn't never supposed to be a part of their situation anyway. That's y'all shit.
Right.
The whole thing is we shouldn't have to be paying in the situations that we don't have no part in. We're not in Washington. Them people in Washington don't represent us. I don't give a damn what color your skin is. You could be purple with blue spots. Them people are not looking out for you.
And
So the whole
that's
idea that
You
the
know what?
government is the whole idea, hold on, the whole idea that the government is going to be able to give you a solution is the problem. The
Exactly.
solution has to come from the people who have the problem. Necessity is the mother of invention. You see what I'm saying? So if the people don't feel the necessity to invent, there is no inventions made. You
Go
see?
ahead, Russ.
I would say I respect that argument that the government's not supposed to do things, but we have to lean harder on them because they are taking our resources. We can't just say, oh, this system wasn't made for us, but you taking 30-35% of our tax dollars. So we have to continue to work that front as well. We got to work all fronts. Like you said, we have to create the solution ourselves, but it seems like every time we do for self, they impact there. And then we also have, I think personally, Black people have some in-house cleaning to do because we have a bunch of people that thwart our progress because when we start, that's just as simple as the reparations piece. The United States government cannot say they don't have the money for reparations. I know since the pandemic, they have cut at least $5 trillion checks. $5 trillion checks since the pandemic. They have the money. The
Okay.
president from Ukraine came into our Congress,
And you know what?
paused, and gave a speech in a sweatsuit like he was in Planet Fitness and said that we're going to pay for the war. Joe Biden just said in the State of the Union address, we're going to pay for the war. We're going to pay for the pensions. We're going to pay for that. We got veterans sleeping on the streets here. You know what I mean? So we have to lean on the government to extract our resources because if we just say, oh, it's not their responsibility to help us. Yes, it is their responsibility to help them. We have to always lean on them. The Jewish community haven't took their feet off the government, and whatever happened to them didn't happen in the United States.
Now everything. Wait a minute. Hold on. Because
Go ahead.
everything you said that we need and everything you said that we want, we had, and we gave it up. Like I was telling the young men before, I remember living in a segregated community, and that community was stronger than the communities that surrounded it.
Yeah.
But we wanted to integrate, pour milk into our coffee, and it got washed away from us. But we were led astray and bamboozled by what they call the civil rights movement, fighting for civil rights that was given to you in 1865 with the 14th Amendment.
Yep.
Right.
You already had the civil rights. So the whole civil rights period was a sham. And it was a way to take the economic and cultural power from us and transfer that to somebody else. We can have what we want to have when we start relying on us to build what we have to build.
That
We
that
can do this. We can do this in their system. We took their system and we showed them how to make it work. We made it work so good that they got jealous and started destroying our communities because of the jealousy built up because we can't do what they are doing.
true.
So how do we do our
See,
house
this is why
cleaning?
you would never get out of this box because you are in another box and don't realize that the box you in is not the box you're supposed to be in. And it goes back to the crab in the bucket concept that I hate from the floor up because a bucket is not a natural home for the crab. How the hell you get that crab in that bucket so he can fight to get out?
Yeah.
Your bucket was when they started pouring milk in your coffee. Now your crab self is trying to fight to get out, but you don't realize you in a bucket.
But I think with what you're saying about these things that we need, and what Brother Wathrow is saying that these things that we had and were taken away, is that
No, giving away, giving
we're
away.
giving away,
Was
giving
not
away.
taken. It was given
Okay,
away. That's
right.
that's the difference. And wait a minute, because he's brought up reparations. I just thought of that too. I'm gonna tell you why them folks will never get reparations. I almost said a bad word. They would never get reparations because black people never had that history. Reparations belong only to the American Indian because it's only the American Indian that can show you specific government policies that hurt us. And we can go all the way back to when they first got here. That's 500 years worth of government, state, local, city, county policies that actually hurt us. Black people didn't get here till 1960s. African Americans didn't get here till Jesse Jackson, brother. They don't have no history. There's no such thing as African American history. There's no such thing as black history because them things don't exist.
Right. That is
How they
correct.
gonna have history and they don't even exist? They got everybody buying into a non-existent existence. So when you say you black, you just dealt yourself out of existence. So now if you
Right.
don't exist, how the hell is you gonna come over asking for reparations? I can toy with you for the rest of your life. Because I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
because
pay somebody
we're not.
that don't deserve it.
They
The
owe
great
reparations. They owe
the
reparations.
Great
They can
Reset, the
classify it
Great
however they want to
Reset. Wait
classify
a
it.
minute, the Great Reset. No, because you got this is legal. You don't go into a legal situation using a general position. You go into a legal situation using a legal position. It's got to be specific. You can't play generalities when you go into court,
Right.
and you cannot show me that anything that black people went through because there were no black. Stokely Carmichael made you black, and that nigga from the islands, he wasn't even from here. He brought his ass over here from the islands, just like Marcus Garvey, and told you you was black. Marcus Garvey come over and told you you was a Negro. But your
Right.
grandma told you you was an Indian. And you rather believe them two silly niggas than to believe your grandma.
Yeah, I
Keep
believe
fighting.
that.
Keep fighting a dead fight. You won't get nowhere. You can beat a dead horse till you dead. And you know what's you're gonna get out of it? Death.
Yeah.
So you can't use that. So you gotta be specific. You go in there and say, hey man, I can show you this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this that you did to the American Indian. Now, you got to claim for reparations.
Right.
I can
But
go
what
through this. I
about
can go through. Wait a minute. I can go through the history book, and I can show you the policies that actually, factually affected my family, all the way back to Indian removal and before. Direct government policies, but they didn't get them policies executed on them as black people or African Americans. They didn't even really get a lot of them policies inflicted on them as Negroes, because Negroes is Portuguese. They got these policies inflicted on them as American Indians.
and I agree there, but I'm gonna say this point right here. I'm on double duty today. I think for me, I start my reparations because it has to be tangible. Because people say, well, that goes so far back. I wasn't a part of that. I want to start reparations as civil rights movement. What you discussed, you said that wasn't really something we should have been a part of, but it's something that happened to us. There's people still alive today. You said you lived in a segregated neighborhood community.
Yep.
There should be reparations for that. There should be reparations
Why?
for redlining.
But see, okay, now here's the problem.
Wait a minute, hold on. Go ahead.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with segregated communities to get reparations, because segregated communities was actually the communities. We was not oppressed. We was by ourselves and we were happy. It was other people that didn't want to see us by ourselves and happy.
That's right. We wouldn't get reparations for being happy.
No. I didn't feel oppressed. When I went to school, I wasn't oppressed because Miss Withers lived right down the street from me. She went to the same church my grandmother went to. See what I'm saying? She wasn't oppressing me. She wasn't feeding me a false education. I got oppressed in a false education when I got integrated into somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
As long as I stayed in my shit, I was not oppressed. And that's what you see all across the time. Whenever we are allowed to be on our own and left the hell alone, we prosper. Your reparations would come from the destruction of that prosperity. Now you got to go back to the Indians. See, you can't get away from the American Indians in the conversation about reparations, because the conversation about reparations won't work without the American Indians. We the ones with the documentation.
Yeah.
Why do you think they don't want the American
Also,
Indians in the reparation conversation?
Yeah, that's why they trying to say that you got to be African American and you got to have proof that your family was in slavery.
Who was the
That's what the
slaves? Quick.
California boy talking
Who
about.
was the slaves? Who were the slaves? Who were the slaves?
Slavic? I guess.
Somebody got their phone
They
too
was-
close. Somebody got their phone.
They was Irish people. Them is white folks. These people is gonna go out here and fight for reparations for white folks. And then they're gonna be mad as hell when they go to the gate to collect their check and they say, where's your documentation? And the only people that's gonna be able to provide that documentation is white folks. Because you wasn't a slave.
Right. They the only ones that can prove that they came over here on a boat, and they can prove that their ancestors were slaves. They can prove that.
That's who reparation is gonna get paid to. So y'all keep fighting for the reparation cause. And you're gonna get absolutely nothing. Because them white folks gonna take it on like they do now.
Go ahead, Coach. We hear you.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with him. I agree with everything he's saying. Like everything that they're asking for proof is gonna go back to people that don't look like us at the end of the day.
Yep.
That's basically what he's saying. And I wholeheartedly believe that, because we don't have the paperwork to show.
Think about the civil rights movement.
That's almost like
what's the paperwork?
Think about the civil rights movement, because we did all that fighting and dying.
Hold on. Hey, Mr. Walter.
And look who's benefiting.
Rose wants to know.
Yeah.
Boss want to know what paperwork.
What do you mean? What paperwork?
So, like when you say we don't have paperwork, they have accurate records of people that were in slavery.
But they don't have records
Right.
of them people being enslaved as anything other. Wait a minute, because Obama played a trick on y'all. Those people were enslaved under the term Negro. Guess what term Obama got away with, or done away with? They non-existent people now too.
Talking about Negro.
Yes.
Or
You got
Indian
reclassified.
native.
You got reclassified right under your nose and never saw it.
Fellas, I just got one more point. I'm on double duty. I just got a question. I guess my last question is, how come when it comes to us, it's always the semantics of the particular word, the particular title, the particular language, and everything else, but when it comes to other groups, they just sign the pen. They just pass it. It's like, okay, for us to get reparations, we need to dot this, we need to cross this T, dot that. Everybody knows what happened to African Americans in this country. There's no need to have a specific name or specific title. They can say under law and under this, that everyone, they know what that is. They're using that to keep us on the hamster wheel, to keep trying to look for these codes and these terms. When America and the white man wanted to make a law, they made the law. They didn't say Native Americans couldn't go here, this group of people couldn't go here, the Negro couldn't go here. It said blacks and whites.
Actually, Indians couldn't go nowhere.
Anywhere. And it's just like, for
Anywhere.
us, it's always something technical. We gotta, they keep us on this hamster wheel with the technicality.
Okay, well, hold on.
They need to
if they gonna wait a minute, wait a minute. Cut this. Let's get this. You say technicalities.
Technicality.
How many court cases have been won and lost on a technicality?
It happens.
Okay, so now that means technicalities have to be figured into the equation when you go into the courtroom, right? So you have to have a contingency plan for those technicalities. And if you're not making a plan that includes those technicalities, you're not making a sound plan.
But the United States government already has the treaties with the Native Americans that they've already broken. They already have the documentation, but they keep telling us,
wait a minute, that's a lie.
Black under this
law. Wait a minute, that's a lie. No, that's a lie. The United States didn't break their treaties. The Indians broke their treaties. See? Because the Indians didn't follow the stipulations in the treaty.
That's like my biggest response. How do the Native Americans break a treaty on land that's already theirs? It's like it's like me coming into your house and saying,
it's not their land.
You're breaking my rules.
That's it. Thank you, Coach. It was never their land. They convinced you that they was you, and they convinced you that you was somebody else.
Correct.
So they had ability to come in.
Because everybody knows the technical, they call Native American, are the people that walk through Alaska and stuff like that. I think the actual natives of this country.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
You talking about them folks that came over here on ships?
That's Bering Strait. But here, even if they came over across that Bering Strait, player, they would have been pure Africans.
Correct.
So how the hell they turn white?
Why is there technicality
how they turn white?
To us getting what we're supposed to get, but everyone else just gets what they're supposed to get? There's no technicality.
Because
even
the
Ukrainian people that come here
it's not really
and free housing and healthcare. There's no technicality there. They don't say, "Are you?"
It's not even really a technicality.
They just give it to them.
Right.
Okay, but it's not a technicality.
That's like the people from
them people know
Afghanistan when
who
they
they
brought them
are.
over here. They
It's
didn't
our
find out if they
people
were
that
from
don't know
Iraq
who
or
they are.
Iran or anywhere. They just brought them over here, gave them the resources, set them up, and then put policies in place to get these people housing, land, and resources. They tell us, oh, there has to be some kind of technicality. It's not worded correctly. You got to present it correctly under the law and blah, blah, blah. If they want to give us what we are owed, they can just snap of a finger and do it.
That's not the first time they
When
did
the hell
that,
have
though.
they wait a minute now, hold on. When the hell has they ever gave us what they owe?
That's what I'm
Never.
saying. You're saying, I'm
When?
just saying that
When?
we
And
can't
if
give up on the fight.
if they have never given us what they owed us, why would make you think that they finna do it now?
Because we gotta keep fighting.
They
We may not see it in our
shine your
lifetime. It
ass.
may be for the grandbabies.
They gonna shine your ass. But when they do pay it, guess who's getting the money?
We
Because you
gonna get
gotta
it.
prove your slave. Wait a minute, you gotta prove your slave. That's one thing you can guarantee gonna be in there.
That can be proven.
By how many people? Because I promise you, it ain't as many people that can prove that as they think it is.
No, they not. Most folks do their genealogy and don't find no trace of slavery, period, in their history.
And it has happened many times. Many times.
But see, then
so that don't actually hold water.
A lot of people gonna go off of oh, my last name is Jackson, and you got the Jackson slave, all the people that were slaves, last name Jackson at this plantation, and that's the plantation I came from. They're gonna try to run with that.
Well, they can go back to the U.S. Census right before the Emancipation Proclamation.
You wasn't enumerated. Matter of fact, Indians wasn't counted on that system at all.
And then and then you ain't
so
gonna.
If you went back there, see, your genealogy is what will lead you through this path. Because if you do your genealogy, you can see exactly what position your people was in at that time. But nobody wants to do their genealogy. They want to run with these generalities. And that's not going to get you where you're going.
So slavery didn't exist. So under that information,
I didn't say slavery didn't exist. I'm saying that the people who they telling you was enslaved wasn't enslaved.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Because
I never said slavery didn't exist.
Well, I figured we lost around the Great Depression when we lost all our land, most of our land anyway.
Yeah, 1921
we land right now from black people. It's a rancher.
In 1921, we
farmers out in Colorado right now. I'm gonna be doing a story on Courtney and Nicole Mallory. They got 650 acres in Colorado, El Paso County, and they got their white neighbors out there poisoning their animals. They've been fighting with the county and the sheriff for 2 years. They're the only ones getting arrested, but the white people aren't. And they got 650 acres, and I think they're trying to take their land. So when they expand outside of Denver, they won't have that land. These are black people too. A man and a husband and wife with 650 acres of land in Colorado right now. Black people got land out here. They want us to think we don't have nothing. Black people got stuff out here.
Well, when you say that, you gotta look at the numbers. I tell this all the time. 1850, we own over 54 million acres of land.
Yeah.
Now we don't own 1%. We own less than 1% of the land here now. So we don't own nothing.
So would that be a claim for reparations there just to get our land back?
Okay, but now you're going back to the Curtis Act. And when you start dealing with the Curtis Act, because that's the act they used to take the land, when you start dealing with the Curtis Act, you'll find out that act was designed to steal land from Indians.
Yeah. Fellas,
and they still wait a minute, they still stealing land from Indians.
Hey.
They just telling you that these Indians is black folks now. But they still stealing the land.
Right.
It's been a land grab from the start, man. But when you go back into the slavery story, which is going to be where the basis of the reparations is, who them slaves? Because they damn sure wasn't Africans. African had a life expectancy of 23 years. Cost $400, which today's money was like almost $60,000. So everybody wasn't buying Africans; they didn't want them. See, Africans wasn't the ticket to the other side. Indians were the ticket,
Yeah,
and them
because the
Irish
Indians
people.
knew the land. They knew
That's
about the
right.
dirt and the soil. Don't African can't tell you
Yeah.
about growing nothing on red dirt.
They can't tell you about growing nothing that we grew over here.
They gonna come over here and die. They gonna have to get somebody else to show them the way.
Okay, well, ain't that the same thing that white folks had happen to them when they got here? Or let's put it this way, them Europeans,
Yeah, they found us and they got us to do the work for them.
because they didn't know how to do it themselves. So how these two dummies is gonna come over here and tell us anything?
And wasn't the European and the African when they were relatives at some point?
They still are. That's why you got to be careful with that Gullah Geechee, because that Geechee on the end of Gullah Geechee is Portuguese. The
I thought
word
it was
Negro was a term for Portuguese people.
Yeah, okay. So those are
Gullah,
mixed people then. Because you got the
Angola was a
Okeechobee.
Portuguese. Wait a minute, Angola was a Portuguese colony starting in 1495. Who was these Gullah Geechees? Sound like they
Well,
Portuguese
then
to me.
why is the river named Okeechobee? Why is the river
Who
in
named
Georgia?
it? Who named it?
Yeah. That's a good one. I don't know.
See, because they gonna change the names just like they gonna change the people. Same scam, same scam, same scam. Because that's just what they did. But we know for a fact that Geechee in Gullah Geechee is Portuguese. And we know for a fact that Angola was a Portuguese colony in 1495. Now, that's both sides of that story in one place, and it ain't here.
Right.
We can dance all day.
I think you got the chipmunk voice on, B. You sound like a chipmunk. You got. I don't know what's going on with your internet. Is everybody still on?
Yeah, I told him to use his phone. Turn that internet off.
I don't know what he got going on, but B, you still there? Go ahead, Coach. What was you saying?
I was just elaborating off everything he was saying. That's a lot.
Right. That's a whole lot. It's a lot to digest. I think.
Yes, it is.
I think understanding what Indians are, understanding that there were different groups inside of the United States, and I think identifying these groups will help you get closer to understanding who you are.
Right.
I don't think we realize, because like I started from the beginning when I said people mostly see black as monolithic, like black is only one race or one people.
Right.
But we were several different groups.
Yeah, of course.
Some groups worked with each other, some didn't. Some groups enslaved one another. That's how it worked.
Some couldn't stand each other.
Some still can't stand each other.
Yeah.
All about the money, honey.
Right. So I think
whoever had the money. You got people like that today, though. Whoever got the money, they'll do whatever they have to.
They keep it.
They'll sell out their own mother if they think they're gonna get $5 out of them.
Exactly.
We've had them slimy people around us since time immemorial. That's how the Europeans got a hook on us right there.
Right. Well, listen, B, he's having such difficulties, technical difficulties. What we're gonna do, we're gonna give everybody let them get their last words in, and let them get their last words in, and then we're gonna close shop. Go ahead, brother.
Well, only thing I got to say, y'all want me to go?
I'll go.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll go. I'll go. I want to thank
Mr.
everybody
Waldo?
for. Yeah, I'll take it.
I want to
I'll
thank everybody for.
Yeah, for allowing me this time.
Yeah, for
A
allowing
minute to
me this
sit here and
time.
watch my cousin.
A minute to sit here and watch my cousin.
I'm still waiting to see if he gonna blink eyes or throw me another sign or
I'm still
something. It
waiting
look
to see
like
if
we
he
gonna
gonna
get
blink
out of this
eyes or
all
throw
right.
me another sign or something. It look like we gonna get out of this all right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down and go on about my day. I hope everybody have a good one, and I'll catch up with you next time.
My day. I hope
Yes,
everybody
sir.
have a good one, and I'll catch up with you next time.
All right, Mr. Waldo.
That'll work.
Appreciate you.
Hey, quick! I want my hat, damn it.
That'll work. Hey, quick! I want my hat, damn it.
I told you to just send me your address. I'll mail it to you.
You already got my address, dude. I sent you that address
You
2
already
years ago,
got
and
my
I still.
address, dude.
No, I ain't got that
I
phone.
sent you that address 2 years ago, and I still.
Yeah, I know I ain't got it.
All right, I'm gonna get it to you.
All right. Go ahead, coach.
Get it to you. All right, all right.
Go ahead,
All right,
coach.
y'all.
Go ahead,
Peace.
coach.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Same. It's him. I want to
All
thank
right,
everybody
y'all.
for
Peace.
coming out. And
Peace.
one thing that people fail to look into, and like Mr. Waldo was saying, is you really got to find out where you come from and who your people are and what they was doing back in the day, instead of just going off a general, oh, my folks were slaves and I'm here and I need reparations. You don't know what your folks might have been the ones with the slaves. So
Right.
it's very important that we do our due diligence, and maybe that can help start to change our thought process. That's basically what needs to change, our thought process. So until I see y'all again, I'll be around.
Okay. Appreciate you, bro.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
B, can you hear me? Appreciate you, bro. Well, it look like B is froze up. So what B gonna tell you, as he always do, get to know yourself, love yourself, speak to yourself every day. Tell yourself that you love you, and that mirror is gonna tell you I love you back. So what I gotta say is, oh, Eric, I didn't see your notifications till late. We're gonna get you on the next show, definitely. But I want to thank everybody for staying on and listening. This was a great show today. We had great guests. So we're gonna do it again, and it's going. I don't know exactly what our topic's going to be, but we're definitely going to get back on and get this fire started again. As always, while you're loving yourself, educate yourself, because education, knowledge is the key, and knowledge is what's going to free you. Other than that, peace and love. Go ahead, B. So appreciate everybody. One love. I think he got stuck. B, I think stuck.